No way Jimmy Garoppolo's that bad, is he?
No, he's not that bad, man. I mean, he hadn't played football in a year, and I think people expect him just because of the contract to come out and just light it up. Jimmy will be fine. He did look bad the other night, but as a guy that's come back off a knee injury, the first thing you want to do is trust it. And how do you do that? You got to get out there and play. So I don't even know if he was really thinking about making a ton of plays. I think the number one goal for him, go out there, move around, get hit, make sure the knee feels good. Okay, mentally I'm good, so now I can go back and I can work on the small little details. But I think Jimmy will be fine, man.
Everybody went young off the radar for their offseason hires, guys like Cliff Kingsbury coming into Arizona. Elway in Denver went with Vic Fangio, an old guy, a defensive mind. How's that fit to you after spending a couple of days up there?
I think the fit's going to be great because they're going to be a defensive football team. I think they're going to be built around Von Miller, Bradley Chubb, the way they play defense, a lot of turnovers. Flacco has done this before. Remember, he was in Baltimore. What was Baltimore? They were a defensive team. So Flacco understands how to play to his defense. And if the defense is as good as I think it's going to be, then Denver is going to have a chance to win a lot of football games. I think it's going to work. It may not look pretty, but I do think it's going to work.
Speaking of Joe Flacco, the place that he left, Baltimore, now in Lamar Jackson's hand, and I read just a fascinating article from Warren Sharp, big analytics guy, about Lamar Jackson. What's your response when you hear this? That if you look at his rookie year of rookies, at least 150 attempts, he posted a higher yards per attempt and a better passer rating than did Andrew Luck, Jared Goff, Sam Bradford, Carson Palmer, Peyton Manning, Carson Wentz, Mitch Trubisky, Sam Darnold, and that's just a few. He was better than all of them in his rookie year. What's your reaction to numbers like that? Because the kind of accepted thought is that he's not that good at throwing the ball.
Let me ask you a question.
Yes.
Of all the quarterbacks you named, would you rather have any of them or Lamar Jackson?
Well, I guess I think that question's unfair to Jackson because we don't.
No. It's not unfair. I'm just asking you because you did what T-Bob normally does. You looked at some numbers and then you started naming 25 quarterbacks. So would you rather have any of the guys you named or Lamar Jackson?
No, my point is I know what Andrew Luck. I know what Andrew Luck and Peyton Manning became. I can't put myself back in a time warp and look at them their rookie year and think that is Lamar it's hard to compare. I would take Lamar Jackson over Sam Darnold. I would take Lamar Jackson over Trubisky right now. I mean, Carson Palmer went on to have a very good career for sure, but the point being, I think Lamar Jackson's rookie year, the numbers in my mind don't always line up with the narrative surrounding him.
T-Bob, have you ever lied on the air?
Absolutely, yes.
Because I was about to say, because you just did now.
Well, I mean, it's old hat, Book. What does that mean? That means
just a Wednesday, Book.
Right.
So you're not buying it?
Be okay. No, I'm not buying it.
Okay.
I've watched enough of Lamar so far. T-Bob, in order to win in this league, man, you got to throw the football from the pocket, man.
That's
true.
I
get the running around, and it looks good, and everybody's saying, wow, and dun, he's going to be on Sports Center. But, hey, man, that's only going to be good for so far. Ask RG3, ask Michael Vick. You have to throw the football in this league. Ask Colin Kaepernick. I mean, Colin made his name to fame early on by running. And then all of a sudden San Francisco tried to make him a passer, and his career didn't go so well. You have to throw the football. Like the prerequisite when you fill out the application is no different than you. When you fill out the application and said, I want to sit next to Jordy, it said I have to look good and talk a lot. Like those were the requirements. The requirements for playing quarterback in the National Football League, you're not welcome. But you have to be able to throw the football. And he just struggles doing it.
Booger Mcfarland, brought to you by Central Plumbing Company every Wednesday morning, ESPN, Baton Rouge, New Orleans, and Alexandria. Mike Thomas made $100 million in the offseason. What do you think about that contract?
He's still underpaid. I mean,
really?
Dude is,
okay.
Yeah, listen. If you watch receivers play in the National Football League, how many times do you find a guy that's as productive, that works as hard, more deserving, and he just doesn't drop balls? And he doesn't complain.
Yeah.
Like, there's only a couple of them: DeAndre Hopkins, Julio Jones, Mike Thomas. Like those are the three that I can come up with that are really high productive, explosive guys that aren't divas. You know, they aren't the guys that just want the spotlight. They just want to show up, put their hard hat on, and go to work. Like, I respect that as a guy who tried to do the same thing. I think those guys are worth as much money as any organization will pay them. Mike Thomas, I can't wait to get to New Orleans week 1 because I think he still has something to prove. And you put him in an offense, Drew Brees. And now I think the wild card of the entire Saints offense is going to be the tight end, Jared Cook. Like, nobody's really talking about that.
Yeah, for sure.
We talk about a lot here locally.
Sensational. Well, I know you talk about a lot of things, T-Bob. But,
that's true.
I think he's going to be sensational.
So you like the hard hat guy like Mike Thomas who just comes in, does his job every day. What do you make of Antonio Brown?
Just a different personality. I'm not saying, that one is good or one is bad because they both are very, very productive. What I'm saying is my preference is the guy that shuts up, puts the hat on, and goes to work. Yeah. Antonio Brown, grew up a little different than Mike Thomas. So how you grew up and your background pays a difference or makes a difference. I think Brown is probably the most complete receiver that can run every route. He can take any route and go 90 yards. But, that's going to come with a little bit of baggage. A little bit, as we're seeing right now, Hard Knocks. So he's going to have a tremendous year. I think, the Raiders are going to surprise people. But Mike Thomas is really, really good, man.
We're wrapping up here with Booger Mcfarland. Catch him on Monday Night Football. Boog, by the way, you look incredible right now,
you
man.
Look TV skinny, which is hard to do.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about. The camera adds weight, and you still look skinny even on television. So congrats to you.
What I tried to do, I'm gonna give you a little tip here. What I tried to do is you gotta talk to the camera person, and you gotta do a little homework. You gotta find out which angle flatters you the most.
Well, you've hit them all.
I appreciate it.
I've actually
really. I'm trying to find an angle where you don't look skinny. We saw you the other day on Get Up, and your shirt was falling off of you.
Yeah, no, my sister talks about this with Instagram a lot, right? With her business, she's big in the Insta game, and it's all about the poses. It's all about the poses, how you do it. All right, Boog. Okay, I got like a minute left, a little less than a minute. Do you have an opinion on this whole Baker Mayfield drama? This feels like the most manufactured drama that I have heard in a long time.
It's really not drama. It's preseason.
Yeah.
We're looking for things to talk about. We ask our athletes questions, and then when they comment on them, we are so quick to ridicule them and so quick to make it a story. Was it the greatest comment? No. Am I going to spend more than 30 seconds answering this question about it? No. Let's get to some real football and tee it up, man.
All right, Boog, great stuff the other night in San Francisco, Denver. 2 more weeks of preseason before the regular season. Looking forward to this every Wednesday. Thank you.
Thanks, buddy. Later.
Oh, the busy guy.